I'm Marina Webster, your host for Inspiring Author TV. We have many inspiring authors giving their interviews here on this show. And today we have another inspiring author, Aleesah Darlison.
Thank you, Irene. How are you?
I'm very good, Aleesah. So, Aleesah, can you tell us about your books? I know that you are children's author, and Aleesah has written many children's novels and children's picture books. So, Aleesah, can you tell us about your books and why did you start writing them in the first place?
Yep, sure. My picture books are Puggle's Problem, which came out last year, and Warambi, which has just been released this July. And I also write novels for children 7 to 12 years. So there's the Totally Twins series. The third book in the series, Tropical Trouble, has just been released. And I have a brilliant new series, a fantasy adventure series, being released in October. That's called The Unicorn Riders, and it's published by Walker Books. Why do I write for children? Well, I guess there's a child inside me that just wants to express themselves. I love writing for children. It's lots of fun. I get my work illustrated, and I can share my stories with children. It's just wonderful.
Yeah. How old you were when you wrote your first book?
Properly, look, I was always writing. In the background, I was always writing. I wanted to be a writer when I was a teenager, but I went on to do other things. About 5 years ago, I had children at home, and I thought I want to just do something for a bit of stimulation. And I'd always been writing, working on some manuscript or other, but treated it as a hobby. But 5 years ago, I thought, no, this is it. I really want to make a go of it. And having children around me, being exposed to picture books, that's when I realised I wanted to write for children. So I did a workshop by Di Bates, Introduction to Writing for Children. I got all the tips and I guess the rules and guidelines for how to write, and then I just started writing. Basically anything I could write, picture books, short stories, novels, YA, and I just started sending them out to publishers and sending them off to competitions and started to get some acceptances after a while.
Wow, that's wonderful. So now can you tell us about how do you publish your books? Because publishing is a really big issue for all writers.
It is, most definitely. So if you do want to be published, you have to start sending your work out, and often that's a big hurdle. What you can do is actually join a writers group and start testing your work with a writers group, reading it out, getting feedback, making sure it's polished. Then you need to research publishers that are going to publish the type of stories that you've written. Some publishers in Australia may only publish picture books, like Working Title Press. They've published Warambi, and they only do picture books. Other publishers, like Wombat Books, will publish picture books and novels, but you have to work out whether they've got the same style of books that you've created. So first of all, it's a lot of research on the internet, and all publishers will have a website, and you can see whether they're accepting submissions. It's called unsolicited manuscripts, also called the slush pile or the treasure trove. So you can find out when they're accepting, and you can send your stories in. You'd send a cover letter. If it's a novel, you might just send the first 3 chapters. But the publishers will all have their guidelines listed on internet sites.
So how difficult it was for you to be accepted by a publisher?
Well, I keep a record of all of the submissions I've made, and that includes, for competitions and magazine submissions, but I've had over 400 rejections. You have to develop a thick skin, don't take it personally, it's all a learning process. I've also had quite a lot of acceptances. So for the first 3 years, I was winning competitions and getting short stories published in magazines. And I kind of thought, well, I know my writing's okay. If I can win competitions, why can't I get published in book form? It was just a matter of persistence and I guess learning and a little bit of luck on your side, as well as having that hard work. So it was hard, but in my first year of publication, I've had 5 books out, so it's happening for me, which is lovely. Yeah.
So do you approach only Australian local publishers, or you just go much broader?
Yeah, well, I've thought of going overseas, but one thing, if you have a book published overseas, it's hard to then get over there to promote it. There are more publishers overseas, but financial times aren't that great at the moment, so I don't know what the markets are, whether they are publishing Australian authors over there. In America, some are, but I really have focused on Australian publishers. Puggle's problem because it's got an Australian animal, the little echidna in it, has more of an Australian focus. Some books you can make international, like the Totally Twins series and my Fantasy Adventure series, that's more international. So it may get, your stories may get picked up by an Australian publisher and then distributed overseas. Being here in Australia, I can support my books with launches and marketing and all of that sort of thing. So it just suits me better. But other authors may like to try overseas. If they're English, maybe they want to go back and try English publishers. And you can do a lot of that via internet these days, email.
Yeah, so you already mentioned about marketing, and this was my actually next question about how do you market your book, and I know you do it very, very well.
Yes, well there are many, many ways, and a lot of other authors have given me hints and tips. You really can't go to university and learn all this sort of thing, and a lot of it is so new, like online marketing, having your own blog, your own Facebook page, Twitter, you must have your own website. Setting those up, there's kind of a technical side to that, but also maintaining it and putting interesting things on those sites. You can do blog tours. There's a lot you can do from your home online these days, and it's all just happening now. It's all new. There are more traditional methods of doing book launches, which is a great way to launch your books into the world. You might do that in a bookstore, or you might choose to do that in a school. The beauty of writing children's books is that you can go to a school and launch them there, and you have an audience. You have a crowd already. There are many other ways you can do it. You can do festival appearances, you can run library workshops. You basically, again, have to do your research, try and come up with a theme around your books as well. The latest one here, Tropical Trouble, it's set in Fiji. So myself and the illustrator, we dressed up in tropical Fijian outfits, the leis, the shell necklaces. We had a competition and we had children come, and it was pouring with rain and windy outside, but we had children dress up in tropical outfits, so they came in their little dresses and swimmers and things like that. It was just gorgeous, so we had prizes for them. The other thing I did for Totally Twins was I have a son who's at school, and his class, 28 children, they're involved in a film project with me, a short film project, and we screened that, the advanced world premiere of the Totally Twins film at the book launch. Just something different. And I think you always have to reinvent yourself, a bit like Madonna or Lady Gaga, and come up with something new, original and different, a bit of theming for your launches, and do interviews, have your publishers send out your books for review and get those online and in print, magazines and newspapers. There is a whole lot of things that you can do, and I actually run workshops on that because there's so much that you can do. Once you start looking for opportunities for marketing, you'll find there are a lot out there.
Okay, so where do you do workshop, marketing workshop? You're doing all over Australia?
Yes, all over Australia. I've got some here in Canberra that I'm doing this weekend, and I've also got some up in Manly on the 18th of September. We're doing some, but wherever libraries are interested, I'm always asking libraries if they want to do workshops, and so I just travel around doing those workshops, and through writers' centres as well.
And basically what you're teaching here is online and offline.
Online and offline marketing, that's right. Very important, up-to-date modern strategies, all the basic tools that an author needs, because being an author these days isn't just about writing. Your writing will get you published, and it is the key, the cornerstone to becoming a published author. But once you have your books, then you have products, and you need to get those products onto the market. You want your products to stand out, and that involves you creating an image and an interest about yourself and promoting those books. So every business needs to market itself, and that's what you do as an author as well.
And maybe just 1 or 2 minutes about illustrations.
Illustrations, yeah.
Illustrations, because it's really, your books were illustrated very, very well. So
they're really beautifully illustrated. So in my picture books you'll find Sandra Temple, she's used lots of white space. There's just this beautiful illustration back here that I love. And felt tip art liner. And then Faber-Castell pencils. This is my favourite picture in the book. You can see there's a lot of detail there, but these are materials that are accessible to children, and I teach children's writing workshops as well, accessible to children or other authors and illustrators who are looking to get a start as well. Warambi's a little bit different. Because Andrew Plant has used acrylic paints here,
Yeah.
and I've actually bought some of these
Yeah.
paintings.
So actually
They're so beautiful.
publisher actually find the illustrator for you, or you actually have to look for illustrator
Look,
yourself?
a publisher will generally find the illustrator.
Mhm.
I know a couple of these illustrators that I work with. Some publishers, if they're a bit smaller or they like the authors to be involved,
Mhm.
they might send you a list of their preferred illustrators. And again, you need a website as an illustrator, so I will go and check out those illustrators and say to the publisher, oh, I really like this one. And so we tend to go with that one. You can have a bit of say. Sometimes you don't. Sometimes you never meet the illustrator as the author. Sometimes you might communicate via email and that's it. Sometimes you've got a good relationship with them, like Serena Getty. She lives near me, so we've been able to meet and I guess collaborate and work on a project.
Yeah, but I think it's very important for you as an author to work closely with illustrator.
Yes, it is nice, but the publisher doesn't always think that way, and there's a reason why they keep a bit of distance. All of my works have been illustrated, but I've worked very differently with the illustrators, and it is the publisher's prerogative at the end of the day.
And just quick, 3 main recommendations for children authors nowadays. Just quickly 3.
Okay, hard work, tenacity, read. Okay, and if you read lots of different books, you will learn how books are written these days.
Read in your topic, or just in general?
In general, but if you want to write picture books, read lots of picture books. If you want to write junior novels, read lots of those as well. Find the ones that you like.
Okay, so another question, where people can buy your book?
They can buy my books in bookstores, Berkelo Books, and I know they've got them in Dymocks as well. Just go in and ask for them, and if not there, you can go direct to the publishers. Check out my website,
What's your website?
Aleesahdarlison.com, and I have lists there of all of the publishers, and you can always pop me an email, aleesah@bigpond.net.au, and I can help you out.
Great. So thank you very much, Aleesah.
Thank you very much, Irina.
I learned a lot from you. So thank you very much for listening.
Thank you.